Welcome to Kurt's Home Living. This is how I create my seasonings and my spices using my dehydrator and my spice grinder. I made the mistake by cutting my celery like this. Cut it lengthwise and cut your stalks in half. Press it down and put the half of stalks in the dehydrator. After I used the peel of these lemons, I retained the juice and refrigerated them for later use. This is how everything looked 6 hours later. The celery shrunk so bad until it went through the holes, and I had to put some more in there and redo it. Everything else held up pretty good. The garlic, the ginger, and the onions. I've already dehydrated my lemon peel, my ginger, and my onion powder. I dried them out and ground it up in my new dehydrator. So now what I have left is some garlic and some celery. I already dehydrated some of the celery. It came out so small until I had to put some more in. Okay, I have my spice grinder out. I'm gonna grind up half of this garlic for garlic powder. It's fully dried out. I'm gonna put some in my spice grinder. And as you saw, I already dried out onion, ginger, and lemon. I took the lemon and mixed it with a few peppercorns and made a lemon pepper with a little bit of salt. So if you put this on a fish or anything, it's going to automatically give you a salty, lemony, peppery taste. I already did these and I showed you the pictures of these in the dehydrator. I'm going to sit them to the side. So I'm going to grind up some of this garlic, just as powder. And your garlic got to be brittle. It has to be breakable like that. You can't do it when it's smushy or gooey or flexible. It has to be dry. And I'm gonna do half of this as just straight garlic powder. Then I'm gonna do some as garlic pepper. And if you ever grind your own vegetables like onions and lemons and celery and garlic and ginger, there's no way a store-bought could ever compare with the flavor profiles you're going to get from that. So if you have the tools, it only take, this thing costs under 30 bucks on Amazon, the dehydrator. Get you a bundle of garlic for less than $5. And if you have the time, if you don't, buy the store-bought. And the spice grinder costs around 20 bucks. Or stay tuned for my own Kurt's own seasonings. You have to stand back with the fumes of any of these seasonings are very strong. And here you have it, fresh garlic powder. It's fine, but it still has some composure, so I will call this granulated garlic. I want to make some into garlic pepper. I'm just going to put dry garlic back into the spice grinder. And this time we're going to add a few peppercorns. Now I'm not sure the ratio on this, but I always start with a little less peppercorns than a lot. Maybe I'll figure out the ratio and I'll come back with you on the ratio. But it's not too many peppercorns. I'd say about 7 or 8. Sounds pretty good to me. And here you have it, garlic pepper. Very nice. Nice consistency. It's not so much as the powder. We still got some granulars in there. Should be good enough. We have our dehydrated celery. I'm gonna throw it in the grinder. I first put like 2 stalks of celery in it and it came down to that. So this really dehydrates and breaks down really small. Very quick once it dries out because it has a lot of water in it. So once the water's gone, it breaks down to nothing. This is basically a whole stalk of celery cut in half. And I even put some leaves in here. This is how I create my seasonings. And you can also blend this with like some ginger and some garlic powder and make a celery, salt, garlic powder, ginger, whatever flavors you're trying to impact, you can do that with mixing your own seasonings. Right now we're just going to mix a little bit of sea salt in here, not too much. We're going to go ahead and mix. I'll plug it in first. Didn't want my fingers getting chopped up, so I cut it off. That looks good. It's like a good celery salt. And there you have it. Celery salt. Just has a little red in it. That smells really good. Garlic pepper and garlic powder. Dehydrated in my new dehydrator. I say that celery took about 6 to 10 hours. The garlic took a long while. It took about 18 hours. The onion powder took about 8 hours. The ginger took about 10 hours. And the lemon peel took about 8 to 10 hours. And this is how I grab my own seasonings for my recipes.
This is my seafood sausage seasoning.
I have my own spice blend that I'm ready to mix up here, which consists of cayenne pepper, white pepper, fennel seeds, Old Bay, paprika, parsley, cilantro, and allspice berries. I might as well grind these spices up in my spice grinder. Got to get this out the way. Okay, that's all we want with that. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Cajun seasoning. Okay, I'm going to start out with a couple of, probably a tablespoon and a half of onion powder. About the same amount of garlic. I'm not necessarily going to use all the seasoning. I was just making it so I'll have it. I'm going to go with 2 tablespoons of salt.
This Cajun Creole blend was used in my shrimp etouffee video.
I'm going to put a tablespoon of Old Bay in here. Two tablespoons of cayenne pepper. We're going to go with 3 tablespoons of paprika.
A blend of smoked and sweet was served best.
That looks good enough. I think that was the fish eye popping. I'm going to go with a tablespoon and a half of oregano. I have my own oregano that I grew over the summer, but I used it all. Tablespoon and a half of basil. I do have some of my thyme left. I'm gonna go with a tablespoon and a half of thyme. I keep some of my stems in there. We're going to go with a tablespoon of black pepper or white peppercorns. And black peppercorns. We're going to add a little twist to this and put some Szechuan peppercorns in here. We're going to mix this in a bowl, then we're going to put it in our spice grinder. That takes care of our seasoning. Let's go ahead and get this out the way.
And there you have Kurt's Creole seasoning.
Let's blend this up.
I don't have a video for this, but this is my homemade curry powder. I blend spices depending on what I'm cooking, what flavor profiles I'm trying to capture, but these are some of the rest. Thanks for watching Kurt's Home Living, Spices and Seasonings.